Welcome back, family, welcome back to Nation of Glory, the place where we don't just talk about Hollywood stars, we bring you the stories that make you feel something deep in your chest. Tonight, grab your favorite blanket, turn the lights down a little, because I'm about to take you on a 40-minute ride through the life of a man who made the whole world laugh while quietly carrying one of the heaviest hearts in show business. This is the untold, real, emotional story of Adam Richard Sandler, the kid from Manchester, New Hampshire who became a billionaire comedian, but never forgot the boy who just wanted his big brother to be proud of him. Picture this. It's 1973, a tiny apartment in a brick building that always smelled like fried onions and fresh laundry. Little 6-year-old Adam is standing on a plastic milk crate in the living room, holding a hairbrush like it's a Grammy. His mom Judy is folding clothes on the couch, his dad Stanley is pretending to read the newspaper, but both of them are secretly watching their youngest son scream the words to Sweet Caroline, at the top of his lungs, completely off key, with spit flying everywhere. His big brother Scott walks in, 12 years old, trying to act cool, but the second Adam spots him he yells, "Scotty. This one's for you," and starts doing the goofiest dance you've ever seen. Scott rolls his eyes, but you can see the corners of his mouth fighting a smile. That moment, that tiny moment in a working-class apartment, that was the birth of Adam Sandler. A kid who learned that if he could make the people he loved most laugh, then the world felt safe. Fast forward to junior high. Adam is the smallest kid in his class, braces, curly hair that looks like he stuck his finger in a socket, and a voice that hasn't decided if it wants to stay high or drop low yet. Kids were cruel back then, the way kids can be. They called him Sandman the loser, pushed him into lockers, laughed when he tried to talk to girls. But Adam had a secret weapon. Every time someone made fun of him, he'd wait until lunch, stand on a cafeteria table, and do a 5-minute impression of that exact bully, exaggerating every dumb thing they did until the entire room was crying from laughter, including the bully himself. By the end of 8th grade, the same kids who tormented him were begging him to sit at their table. That's when Adam learned the greatest superpower on earth. Laughter can turn enemies into friends, pain into power, and tears into triumph. But here's where the story gets real, because not everything was funny. When Adam was 17, his family got the phone call that breaks a home in half. His dad Stanley, the quiet electrical engineer who worked double shifts so his kids could have sneakers without holes, was diagnosed with lung cancer. Adam came home from a comedy show at a local bar, he was doing stand-up at 17, sneaking in with a fake ID, and found his mom sitting at the kitchen table crying into a dish towel. He didn't know what to do. So he did the only thing he knew how to do. He grabbed 2 spoons, climbed up on the kitchen counter, and started doing his goofy opera voice singing, "You Are My Sunshine," while juggling the spoons like a circus clown. His mom laughed so hard she couldn't breathe. His dad, lying in the next room on a hospital bed they'd set up, called out in that weak voice, "Kid, you're gonna be a star." 2 months later, Stanley Sandler took his last breath while Adam held his hand and whispered every joke he could think of, because he couldn't stand the thought of his father leaving this world without smiling one last time. Adam doesn't talk about that day in interviews. Ever. But if you watch closely in movies like Click, when he's screaming at his father through that rain, crying, "I just want one more day," that's not acting. That's Adam bleeding on screen for the whole world to see, hoping maybe, just maybe, his dad can hear him from wherever he is. He moved to New York City with $300 in his pocket and a dream bigger than the skyline. Slept on friends' couches, ate ramen so old the flavor packet had expired, performed in comedy clubs where the audience sometimes had only 3 drunk guys and a bartender who hated life. But every night, no matter how tired he was, he called his mom just to hear her voice and say, "Ma, I made 7 people laugh tonight." 7. That's 2 more than last night. And Judy would answer, "Baby, one day you're gonna make 7 million laugh. I believe in you." Then came the miracle nobody saw coming. 1990. Adam, now 24, skinny, nervous, walks into an audition for Saturday Night Live. Lorne Michaels is sitting there like a king on a throne. Adam does Opera Man, he does Canteen Boy, he does that crazy high-pitched laugh that makes your sides hurt. The room goes silent, then Lorne Michaels does something he almost never does. He stands up and claps. Adam got hired on the spot. When he called his mom from a payphone on 8th Avenue, he was crying so hard he couldn't talk. All he could say was, "Ma, I made it. I really made it." And somewhere up there, Stanley Sandler was smiling bigger than he ever had on earth. Saturday Night Live turned Adam into a household name. Lunchlady Land, the Hanukkah song, Red Hooded Sweatshirt, we all sang those songs like they were national anthems. But fame came with a price. Adam watched friends overdose, watched relationships explode, watched Hollywood try to change him into someone cooler, someone edgier. They told him, lose the goofy voice, lose the friends doing cameos, grow up. And Adam said no. He started Happy Madison Productions for one reason, so he could keep employing the same buddies he came up with, the ones who held him when his dad died, the ones who believed in him when he had nothing. Rob Schneider, Alan Covert, Nick Swardson, David Spade, those aren't just co-stars. That's family. Every time you see them in a Sandler movie acting ridiculous, know this: Adam is paying their mortgages, putting their kids through college, making sure the people who were loyal when he was broke never have to worry again. That's who he is. But the world kept trying to tell him he wasn't good enough. Critics tore him apart for years. Talentless. Juvenile. A man-child who makes movies for frat boys. Adam would read those reviews and laugh on camera, but when the cameras were off, it hurt. Because here's the truth nobody talks about: Adam Sandler is insanely sensitive. He remembers every bad review, every mean tweet, every time someone said they hated his movies. He just turned that pain into fuel. And then, he decided to show the world something different. 2002. Punch Drunk Love. Paul Thomas Anderson, the genius director of Boogie Nights and Magnolia, calls Adam and says, "I see something in you nobody else sees. I want to make a movie where you're not the funny guy, you're the broken guy." Adam was terrified. No fart jokes, no screaming, no friends doing cameos. Just him, raw, playing a man so lonely he collects pudding coupons for airline miles. When that movie premiered at Cannes, the same critics who destroyed him for years gave him a 6-minute standing ovation. Grown men were crying. Adam stood on that stage in France, looked up at the sky, and whispered, "Dad, you seeing this?" That was just the beginning. Spanglish. Reign Over Me. Funny People. Uncut Gems. The Meyerowitz Stories. Hustle. Movie after movie where Adam took off the mask and let us see the man underneath. A guy who's been hurt, who's lost people, who's scared of failing the people he loves, but who keeps getting back up because quitting would mean letting his dad down. In Uncut Gems, when he's screaming in that jewelry store, veins popping, eyes wild, that's not acting. That's every panic attack Adam ever had about money when he was broke, every fear that he wasn't good enough, every nightmare that one day the phone would stop ringing. He put it all on screen and the world finally saw, this man is one of the greatest actors of his generation. Full stop. And yet, he still makes Billy Madison 2 type movies. You know why? Because his daughters Sadie and Sunny, the 2 great loves of his life, love those movies. He has said in private, "If my girls want to watch me fall off a roof in a fat suit and laugh until they can't breathe, then I'm going to give them that memory forever." That's a father's love. He's worth over $450 million, lives in a mansion, could retire tomorrow, but every year he puts on a penguin suit or dresses like an old lady because it makes his babies happy. Tell me a more beautiful reason to make art. Let me tell you one last story that will wreck you. A few years ago, Adam was doing a secret stand-up show in a tiny club, testing new material. A young comedian, maybe 22 years old, bombs horribly. The kid is shaking, near tears, about to walk off stage and quit comedy forever. Adam, who's headlining, stops the show, walks over, puts his arm around the kid in front of everybody and says into the mic, "Hey, listen up. This kid just did something I didn't have the guts to do until I was 17. He got up here. That makes him braver than most people in this room. Give him a hand." The place exploded in applause. The kid started sobbing. After the show, Adam sat with him for 2 hours, bought him dinner, gave him $5,000 cash and said, "Don't you dare quit. The world needs your voice." That kid is now touring clubs and every single night, before he goes on stage, he plays the Hanukkah song in his headphones because Adam Sandler once told him he mattered. That's the real Adam Sandler. The man who hides dad jokes and silly voices because the world's already too dark. The man who flies his entire childhood friends first class everywhere he goes. The man who, when his beloved dog Meatball died, shut down production on a $80 million movie for a week because he couldn't stop crying. The man who has never forgotten where he came from, and who has made it his mission to make sure no one he loves ever feels the way he did when he was that skinny kid getting stuffed into lockers. So next time you watch Happy Gilmore and laugh when he's fighting Bob Barker, or tear up and click when he's running after his dad in the rain, or feel your heart race in Uncut Gems, remember you're not just watching a movie. You're watching a boy from New Hampshire who miss his daddy every single day. Who turned his pain into laughter so we don't have to cry alone. Who built an empire just to keep his friends safe. And who, after everything, still signs every autograph, still answers every DM from a kid who says his movies got them through depression, still shows up. Adam Richard Sandler isn't just a comedian. He's proof that the soft-hearted kids, the class clowns, the ones who get called too much, sometimes they grow up to save the world. One laugh, one hug, one act of kindness at a time. And somewhere, Stanley and Judy are looking down, laughing and crying at the same time, saying, "That's our boy. That's our Adam." Family, if this story touched your heart the way it touched mine, do me a favor. Hit that like button so this message can reach someone who really needs to hear that it's okay to be silly, it's okay to cry, and it's okay to keep going even when the world says you're not enough. Subscribe to Nation of Glory and turn on the bell because every week we're bringing you stories of legends who rose from nothing and never forgot who they are. Share this video with someone who grew up on Sandler movies, someone who needs to remember that the goofiest person in the room might just have the biggest heart. This is Nation of Glory, and I'll see you beautiful people in the next one. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Peace.